Well, it is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. They say the day before Thanksgiving and then the Sunday following Thanksgiving are the busiest travel days of the year. It's been quite crazy today, and I didn't make too many miles. I'm taking a slow roll out to Banning, California, coming from our terminal in Janesville, Wisconsin. Now, I don't mind, because I'm going to tell you something. I hate being out during any holidays, which to me the holidays are Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't think there's any other holidays that I care about, with the exception of our personal holidays like my anniversary, my wedding anniversary, and, well, that's the major ones. My kids' birthdays, they've always just had to deal with it. Dad ain't home. Dad's got to make money. It's best to be home for those, but they're all grown up now. But I'm still married, and I still love being married to my beautiful bride. And I still love coming home on the holidays. Mainly Christmas. A lot of times I give up Thanksgiving, because usually when you work for a company, they're going to say, you get three choices, you get one of three choices, which is Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's. Some people get them all. Some people are just, they wear golden knee pads or whatever it is. I don't know. I may have been able to get off with having Thanksgiving off. I don't know. I didn't try. I didn't even think about it. This message was put out that freight needs to move, even though it's a holiday, and the customers want their freight whether you want to go home for whatever holiday or not. So need to put in for your time off, this and that. And so I'm like, well, man, I'll go ahead and stay out for Thanksgiving, but I want to be home for Christmas, and I could care less about New Year's. I just don't get down like that no more. And so, before I was a truck driver, I had spent holidays away from home before that. Like, I'd spent Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, birthdays overseas. And that's pretty tough, especially I spent them in a box, a little box, buried in the dirt or up in a high elevated position as what's called an LPOP, listening post observation post, and I was armed with an M60 machine gun, and I carried a pistol with me, and I was just looking for bad guys, or looking for guys that would run our gate into our installation, and I have to blast them. And that's pretty tough. When I was over in that stuff, it was hard to stay sane. And I kind of think of that today, like how it prepared me to be a long haul trucker. In the 60 pit that I was in most of the time, I can't remember if there was Hotel 1 and Hotel 2, which means not that they're a hotel, for those of you who never, did any time in the service. You have the phonetic alphabet, and the sound you make for when you're saying an H, when you're spelling something, or you're just giving out something where you would give the letter H. Well, the letter H is hotel. Just like V is Victor, or C is Charlie. That's why you didn't hear, when you see those Vietnam movies, or you hear some of them old timers talking about Vietnam, and they call the Viet Cong, which was the guys they were fighting over there, they called them the VC, or they would be called Victor Charlie. But you never hear them call them Victor Charlie because they don't want to call them the Victor, so they just called him Charlie. No way they're going to call him the Victor. So anyway, let me get back on track here. I remember my first Thanksgiving as an over-the-road trucker. I was a team driver at CRST, and I remember just how down I felt during that time. It sucks, man. It sucks, especially when you have people you love that you would rather be spending that time with are back home enjoying that meal without you, and they want you there too, but they know that you are serving a purpose and you have you got shit to do. You got shit to do. You got bills to pay and mouths to feed. These days it's not so much like that, but I still would like to be home. And I tell you, it's one of those things where if I'm rolling and I'm serving a purpose, I can get by a lot easier than I can if I'm sitting somewhere, or whatever. I have to be serving a purpose. So thankfully I got loaded out of the terminal Wednesday and got to go rolling Thursday, and I wasn't sitting around somewhere. Now, I didn't go far. I did go sit at a truck stop later on, and I had my own big Thanksgiving pizza that I bought at a Quick Star in Iowa, and that was my Thanksgiving dinner. And Pedro had a fancy meal that I made him. Hell, we just had a breakfast burrito over here in Beaver, Utah, and I shared that with him. We just been having a great time during this Thanksgiving weekend, whatever you want to call it. But that's the thing about life, I guess. I've been thinking about it today mostly, or actually ever since Wednesday. Is serving a purpose. Life is shit when you're not serving a purpose, or you feel like you're not serving a purpose. It really is. It can dig you down deep. Or like when I think of my past, I mean, like when I was a kid and just serving no purpose at all other than being a fucking pain in my parents' ass. That was like my only purpose, was to party and drink and do drugs and all kinds of shit, man, and just party. I played in a rock and roll band. I played in bands for years. Since I was 15 years old, I started playing in bars at 15 years old, and wanted to be a rock star and so on and so forth, but really never served any purpose other than to serve myself, I guess, with the pleasures, like I'm saying, the drinking and the drugging and just the partying and but I'm not like that these days. I'm not even close to it. I do eat a lot. I like good food. But as long as I'm rolling this holiday, I'm serving a purpose. I'm doing it for the greater good, for the outfit that I pull for, and they kept me rolling this year. And I'm very happy with that. I'm very pleased. I'd rather be home, make no mistake about it. I'd rather have been home. But one of those things you learn, what I was talking about earlier, being overseas, and kind of dealing with that. Is it service before self? And I'm not trying to say that I'm some sort of, like, I'm perfect, and I'm far from it, man. Far from it, but I want to be as good as I can be for everyone around me, and for myself, and for you. I heard a guy the other day was rolling through Des Moines, Iowa. It was one of the coolest things I've ever heard. A couple guys coming across the radio, and it was in the evening time. The sun was going down, and these guys were traveling west, and I was traveling east. And I hear one guy tell another guy that his truck just looks great. It looks awesome. And the driver comes across the radio and says, thank you. And he's like, you know, it's perfect from afar, but far from perfect. And I thought that was like the coolest thing I'd ever heard. Maybe some of you have heard that before, but I just thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever heard. Perfect from afar, but far from perfect. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. And if you don't celebrate that, well, I hope you worked during that day, because I did. Catch you next time. Subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you think it deserves. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time. Later.